Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rearview mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B, aka F with me. You know I got it.
Is that in the Magic Johnson sense, or the Jay Z and Rick Ross sense,
Definitely Jay-Z and Rick Ross.
or some other fly thing we don't even know about yet?
I definitely don't know about it yet, but but I would say Jay-Z and Rick Ross is pretty solid.
Okay. Just wanted, just wanted to make it clear for the people.
Of course.
All right, folks, let's get this Wednesday show started.
Hump day.
It's definitely feeling like it.
Yeah.
So we got an article here from Bloomberg, and it talks about the number we've all been curious about for a long time, about how much money is the secret Wu-Tang album actually sold for.
Right.
And so many moons ago, it was sold for what was said to be around 2 million.
Okay.
But we never got a real number. Nobody knows. So,
Hmm.
you know, the government in 2015 seized the album from Martin Shkreli, and that was in 2015. 2015, Pharmacy Bro, in response to controversial trial, was charged with security fraud in 2017. He was convicted. Oh, they seized it in 2017.
What?
And
I was just gonna ask, what do they do with the proceeds from these sales?
well, what had happened was Shkreli owed the government money. So
Okay.
they seized his assets, and they're basically trying to get the assets back.
Okay.
hmm
Got it.
So then in October of 2021, the New York Times revealed that the new owners of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin were a digital art and crypto collective known as Pleaser DAO, and they paid the equivalent of $4 million in crypto.
Okay. Does that mean that they're probably reselling it or have already resold it?
I don't think so because they're an art collective. But that
Hmm.
is what's being said here in the article. And so,
I heard crypto
um,
and I was like,
right. So the whole thing is people have been trying to figure out what was it really sold for first, and what did the government get it for?
Right.
And so that number is what we're getting the answer to in this article here from the Bloombergs. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, so that number is right here. It says that the U.S. Marshals Service turned over another copy of the bill of sale and the purchase agreement last Friday,
Mhm.
unredacting the details. The person writing this article says, I had been pursuing since late 2021. It shows that the government sold Once Upon a Time in Shaolin for $2,238,482.30, which is the amount Shkreli owed the government.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Interesting. I mean, that's a lot of
So
money.
there's a lot of money. It's also interesting because it was sold for um 2 million to him originally, give or take.
So they got a little extra. They got a little something on the top.
Well, because that's what he owed. So
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying it sold for more than he originally got it for.
correct. What's
Okay.
interesting is those numbers are interesting. Let me say that. But what I think is interesting and maybe people forgot, I know I forgot definitely, was his album is two CDs and the buyer, Sprelly, agreed that they would not duplicate it or play it commercially for 88 years
Well,
until 2103. That's
until we're all not here. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
sure. So we'll never know what it sounds like.
Well, I don't know if you remember a while ago there was a controversy behind that because apparently Homeboy was sending it to people, making copies, having
I
listening
do remember
sessions.
that. Yeah.
So some people might know what it sounds like, but yeah,
But we don't. Okay.
not us common folk, no.
Mm-mm.
But
We do, however.
well, wait, before we move on, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I don't know. It's so ominous, right? Like we don't know what it sounds like, so we don't even know if it's we don't even know if the value
Mhm.
aligns.
Right.
Um it could be a terrible album. I mean, it's probably not, right? It's Wu-Tang, but I'm just saying we don't know what what's on the album. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like we're never going to know much about it. Even
Right.
the sale was like hidden, for so long, and the amount of money that it was sold for was hidden for so long. And I get that it's tied to the government, so there's, nuance there that um, prevents that from happening. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's interesting. It wasn't that far off. It's not like they sold it for $5 million or something like that, and then they sold it for the value of the amount that he owed. So I guess now he's square, at
Yeah,
least in that
Spelly's
sense.
debt is paid. That's for sure. I always thought that the album existing as an art piece was interesting. I also thought that was
Hmm.
innovative back then. I still think it is. We've seen some people sell albums for $100, $50
Hmm.
since then. But nothing of the magnitude of millions of dollars. Um, the secrecy behind what is on this thing. Is it like just skits or is there even actual music on it? Like there's just so much lore around the album
Great.
that it's really interesting. Um I think it's interesting too, which you kind of pointed out that it hasn't really increased much in value over the years.
No.
But I do like that this art collective has it. Because if just Joe Schmo bought it, who knows if it would even be appreciated.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know anything about the art collective. Let me be clear. Maybe they too are Joe Schmo, but based on the wording in this article, it seems like they are not just Joe Schmo. They are an art collective. And so that makes me feel like, okay, then they appreciate it as a piece of art, which
Yeah.
is what it was intended by RZA to kind of be.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I hope that they do something or have done something with it. Um, that allows it to kind of, I guess, I don't even know if celebrated is the right word because we don't know what we celebrating.
Right.
But but if it's considered art, then maybe it's on display somewhere or something like that. I think would be really cool to see.
Yeah,
I would
I agree.
definitely. They put it in a museum. I'd go see it.
Word. All right. Well, this next thing is not on the museum, but you can see it in your phone whenever you want.
And you can hear it.
And you can hear it whenever you want. You don't have to wait till 2031.
Right.
And that next thing is Raekwon's new album, The Emperor's New Clothes.
Yes.
The Emperor's New Clothes came out last Friday when we were recording this. It is 17 songs, 40 minutes, and it is licensed from Ice H20 Records, which is Raekwon's record label situation, independently owned, and it is licensed to Mass Appeal Records, which I think is dope. And Mass Appeal, we know, is on this run, which we spoke about earlier. And I guess we're going to keep speaking about as these albums continue to come out. So Slick Rick came out in June. Um, Nas comes out in, well, we don't know when Nas comes out, excuse me. Slick Rick already came out. Raekwon just came out. At some point, we know Nas and other people are coming out as well as part of this run. So this is the second album in this 7 album run or 7 project run,
Hmm.
because we don't know, are some going to be EPs or what.
Right.
Um,
Is this why you wore your Nas shirt today?
well, I went to put a Wu-Tang shirt on, but it was dirty. And so I said, well, then I'll keep it in the family and put
Yeah.
my Nas shirt on.
Okay. I dig it. I'm into it.
Yeah. So let's talk about this album. I've listened to it a couple of times. Let me just speak a little bit about some of the features who are on here.
Hmm.
You got Inspector Deck, Carlton Fisk, the entire Griselda, which we haven't seen together in a little bit. Stacey Barth, Tommy Nova, Ghostface, Method Man. Somebody else is on this song too. Nope, no, they're not. I'm wrong. More Ghostface, Marsha Ambrosia, more Ghostface. Did I mention Ghostface?
Listen, okay, because I was coming on here to say I understand that this was Raekwon's project, and I think that's dope. But also, I feel like I got a little EP from Ghostface.
Yeah, Ghostface is on here 4 times, and of course Nas, who I didn't mention. Nas is up here too.
Yeah, and you know how I feel about Ghostface, so I was like,
But
"Oh, this
listen,
is great."
Ray and Ghost go together like mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Pun
Yeah,
intended. Pun intended,
yeah.
because the last song was called Mac and
Mac and
Cheese.
lobster.
Oh, Mac and Lobster, excuse me. And so they go
Mm.
together like Mac and Lobster, maybe was the better way to say it. But yeah.
They do. It just works. There's just chemistry and there's synergy, and it's just they create the vibe. And listen, I don't normally, when I talk about like hip hop, that that's not the right thing to say.
Be honest. Come on, say it. That real hip hop. Come on. That
That
real shit.
real hip hop, that classic hip hop, like what we
That,
really
that real
know
hip hop
as
that is soothe your soul.
right, like the hip hop that we grew up on,
Mm.
like the hip hop that we know, that, like you said, like it's in your soul. Like it's different. It's just different. I never really know how to explain it because I'm not trying to disparage anybody else. I'm simply just saying that this is a particular subgenre at this point, which it shouldn't be because it is the genre if you ask me,
Real rap.
but it has become its own subgenre, which is fine, but it's so good, like, because we don't get nearly as much of this as we get of the other stuff at this point. So it's, man, man, I was excited. I've listened to it a bunch of times since it came out. And like I said, Ghostface, or like you said, Ghostface, Ghostface, Ghostface. That's always exciting for me. But it just sounds really classic. It just sounds like what I would expect from a Raekwon album. So, and I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I know you got a lot of things to say. I know you about to talk about the drums, and you're gonna talk about the inflection in their voices.
I'm actually
You're
not.
gonna talk. You're gonna talk about repetition, and you're gonna talk about. Uh,
I'm actually not gonna do any of that today, but you
but
know,
yeah. So I enjoyed it. There was one song that I can't remember what it's called. It's something about a plan, and
let me pull up the
he
track
does
list.
this. They do this thing that reminded me of Phone Tap. Do you remember Phone Tap? It reminded me of that. The way they sounded on the hook.
Okay,
I mean, if y'all know Phone Tap,
is it
it'll
called
make sense to you
the
if you
guy
listen to it.
plans it? No, but the
Yeah,
guy plans it is only a minute 32 seconds, so
it is
maybe
the
it's
guy
the
plans
heaven.
it.
But it's only
Is
a
there
minute thirty
another
two
one?
seconds. I think I think that's a skit.
Is it a
Maybe you're
skit?
thinking of the
That's
song.
why.
Yeah, I remember there's a couple skits.
Maybe that's why it sounds like that. I don't look at it while I don't check the
Listening.
songs while
Yeah,
I'm
but
listening.
I don't think there's if it's a skit, I don't think there would be a hook on it. So it's probably the song before or the song after.
Mm, no, but it's like he does almost this call and response, but I think it's with himself.
Oh, okay,
Not
got you.
maybe call and response is not the way to describe it. I don't know. Anyway, it reminded me of Phone Tap. They're not the same in any way. It's just
Mhm.
the technique reminded me of Phone Tap because it sounded like he was on a phone. Um, and I like that because again, it just feels very classic. Also, okay, last thought, so you could take the floor.
Oh, come
But
on. This is a review. Get your thoughts out.
the skits, you don't get a lot of skits these days, and I
Yeah.
really like that because it just again just felt really nostalgic. Like I'm not even saying the skits were like super amazing or anything like that. I was just like, wow, skits, okay,
Right. That
because
was
we
my
don't,
reaction to it. I was like, oh, we're getting
yeah,
skits. Okay.
right, and multiple skits, not just like one smacked in the middle of the project,
No,
but it
no,
was like,
there's one, two, three skits. Yeah, three skits. And the intro's kind of like, up there too in a sense, because
yeah, and I guess I like it to kind of break things up a little bit to have the skits in there. Again, I'm not saying skits were like amazing. I don't remember all of them to be honest, but I did like that. It's just a different. You know when you know something from a different time and you're like, wow, this thing like gives me that feeling or takes me back to a moment. That's what this felt like for me.
yeah, I agree. I'm actually not going to talk about the drums and all of the things you said. I just want to talk about the
I was
rapping.
just messing with you.
There was quality rap all throughout this album, from Raekwon, from the features. Um, Listen, I was very shocked to see Griselda all together on a song, but that song is one of my favorites. They all went up there and did their job. They
They
did their
did.
job well. As the internet would say, they understood the assignment
Hmm.
and they bodied it. Always cool to see Wu-Tang members up there with Raekwon. That was nice. It sounded cohesive when they were all
Hmm.
together. It didn't sound like all over the place. And
Hmm.
so I appreciate that that still can happen as a unit.
Yeah.
Um, Mac and Lobster, it was a great way to end it. It's a great song. It's one of the best songs on the album, in my opinion. And it makes
Hmm.
you want to listen to the album again because you're like, oh man, what's next? And the album starts over. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, all right, maybe I'll just listen again. I don't
Yeah.
know. I definitely love the song with Nas. Nas did his thing. I
Me
was
too.
like, man, Nas got one of the best verses on this album. And that's like really interesting because of who's on this album.
Right. Right. There's
Um
so many great rappers.
no, yeah, everyone came and rapped on this album.
Yeah.
Nobody came and did any play shit. So the fact that Nas came up here and his verse stands out so much, that speaks volumes. So I was really happy to hear that as a Nas fan. And I was like, all right, Nas. Nas said, I'm recording too, nigga. I'm still sharp. And so I thought that was great. This is like Raekwon's eighth album. if I'm correct, and I'm very happy that we have a new Raekwon album. We don't get Raekwon albums every year. Raekwon is one of those artists who kind of puts music out when he is ready to. And so, I'm happy that we got one because we don't really get a lot of Raekwon albums. They come out every couple of years. So, we don't know when the next one will come. But if this is how Raekwon's gonna sound when he comes out, I'm happy with it. Solid body of work, quality rapping. Now, I do have one little thing I have to say here, and people are gonna
You always have
probably.
one little.
I
You
just,
always have one little thing, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with
I
that. But
just,
you know,
I just gotta say it. And I know some people may say I'm a hater, and that's fine. Let me just make sure I got the right song here. 1 second. Yeah, it's the song. That's what I thought. Okay, so the song of Marsha Ambrosia,
mm,
she sounds lovely. Raekwon sounds good. It's called Deborah Night Wine. Um, I wish they chose a different beat. I'm sick of hearing this sample. And honestly, when I compare it to the other songs in hip hop that
mm,
have this sample, Beanie Siegel has a classic to this song, this sample. Joe Budden has a great record to this. Well, yes, people, Joe Budden when he rapped, yes. Joe Budden has a great record to this sample and Raekwon. And I have to be honest, I think this newest edition is the weakest of the three. I don't
okay,
think this was a good record in comparison to those other records. On the album, it's fine. It's like, okay, I see what you were doing. The mission was
yeah,
accomplished, check. But just a passing grade for this one. I don't think
okay,
this was the best record on the project. I don't think it was like the most phenomenal Marsha Ambrosia feature ever. She did, cool stuff. I don't think it was a spectacular showing from her. And I feel like y'all wasted the sample. I feel like y'all should have
mm,
used another beat because all I could think of is the super hard Beanie Siegel record, which then takes me to my what I think is the best of the three, which is the Joe Button record. Um, and I feel like it's you're not doing good against your competition if you're gonna rap over this sample. And
yeah,
if you have a known sample like that, and I'm a hip hop guy. I'm not saying that a commercial, like if this came on the radio, it won't. But let's say it came on the radio, people might not recognize it because the other two songs were album cuts, not radio cuts, right?
mm,
But anybody who knows hip hop and knows the other two records, I don't think they're gonna feel like, oh man, Raekwon took this sample to a whole new level. This is
yeah,
now a classic over this. And to be honest, I think the other two songs are classic records in their own right. And I don't think this one is a classic. So I think he did himself a disservice using this sample,
mm,
or just using that beat, right? Because I don't think Raekwon walked in the studio and was like, hey man, I want this sample right here, okay? This one.
mm,
I don't think he did that, but in his beat selection process, I think he should have chose another beat. Because I think he did himself and the album a disservice using that beat. Because I immediately was like, oh, this beat again, like this sample flip again.
mm,
There's certain samples that you hear and you're like, all right, this is the
yeah,
third time I've heard this, fourth time I've heard this. It's not as good as the other ones. You immediately just start comparing it to the other ones.
mm,
And when I heard it, that's all I could do. I actually had to play the song over. Like I had to start the song over because I was like halfway through the song as I was already in my mind comparing like,
you were
oh, but what did
distracted.
this person do? What did that person do? I wasn't even
Yeah,
giving the song a fair shot. And I
mm,
realized, all right, I gotta pause my brain's thoughts, start over and hone in so I could give this a fair shot. And again,
yeah,
it's not a bad record. I'm not saying the song sucks at all. I'm saying it's a cool record. But the other two songs with this sample that we know are monster records. And
yeah.
so I think you do yourself a disservice when you do that. So that's my only critique of the album.
Okay,
The skits are
that's
cool. The
fair.
skits also gave me nostalgia, but I don't think the skits make or break it. I think it's cool that they're
Yeah,
there. I know some people hate skits and want them to never come back. I feel like if the skits are cool, it's all right. Like none of the skits are like 7 minutes or something crazy.
right. They're not
Yeah, they're
overwhelming.
short and they don't really bother. So I feel like they could stay, they could go either way. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um But I just wanted to speak on the skit thing because I know some people like, oh my god, skits. Why did they do that? They should have never came back. Skits were always horrible. There's a group of people, especially in the younger generation, who feel like skits shouldn't
Yeah.
exist on albums. Skits are for, going viral and stuff. But I don't feel that way, so I just wanted to touch on that. But yeah, it's my only critique. Great rapping all throughout. Great songs. It's a solid body of work. It's what we know Raekwon is capable of. I don't know if this is his best album. I will have to go back through his discography, but I don't care if it's his best album or not. I care that he gave us a solid body of work, and he did.
Hmm.
He gave us a good body of work, and I think that's what's important, especially at Raekwon's age. Raekwon been rapping since early '90s, so for him to come out and do this today, it shows you that he's still capable of rapping at a level that a lot of people can't. And still doing his thing. Like he didn't come on here and try to sound like,
Right.
oh yeah, I'm gonna come up here and try to sound like Little Yachty. No, he came
Yeah.
up
No.
here and sounded like Raekwon.
Like himself.
Because there's
Yeah.
some rappers, I won't say names right now, but there's some rappers that are like, yeah, let me get with the kids and rap on the beats that they rap on and try to sound like them. Raekwon was, no, I'm gonna do what I do. And I'm gonna do it well, and I'm gonna do it on the beats that I would normally do it on.
And I think that's reasonable, and I appreciate that he did that.
Same. So that's it. That is our uh The Emperor's New Clothes review. Now, I don't have a fly transition for this next topic. So
Not
I'll just
either.
I'll just say that, something else that is nostalgic to the way we grew up
Uh huh.
has has come across our radar. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I have thoughts. So let's start with context. It says, this is from Deadline.
Hmm.
It says exclusive. Captain Planet and the Planeteers' long awaited live action adaptation is getting a big boost and a major twist. In a competitive situation, Netflix has landed development for Captain Planet, a live action series based on
Hmm.
the cult animated show. Deadline has learned. It hails from Greg Berlanti Productions, Leonardo DiCaprio's Appian Way, and Warner Brothers Television. Now, those are some heavy hitters.
I will watch anything that Berlanti does. I will watch absolutely anything that Berlanti does. I won't ask questions. I will just watch it because the track record is the resume is long. It is long.
Okay.
Outside of that, I told you this off pod. I'll be honest. I remember Captain Planet, but I don't remember Captain Planet. Like I know that I know Captain Planet, but I don't remember the show. So I don't really have a whole lot to contribute to this. But what I will say is, again, I listen. You know me. I'll try it out. I'll try it out. But live action, I'm okay. And this is a question for you because I know that you are someone who like dibs and dabbles into animated series depending on what it is. All of these things that are becoming live action. I know Disney has a particular push with turning things into live action. Is it necessary though? Like, because I would even be okay with them saying they'll do Captain Planet and a new and improved animated series of
Yeah.
Captain Planet. And I think people
Right.
would still want to watch that, especially if we're, keeping with the theme of nostalgia. And I said this before, I don't remember what show we were talking about, but we were talking about something, I don't know, it had to be at least a year ago or something on the podcast. And I remember asking, like, you are a millennial who has a kid. So in my mind, these when we do get these reboots or these new and improved versions of something that once was, it kind of can serve as something to bridge the gap where like families can watch certain things together, and it depends on who your target audience is and all that, I understand, but I just feel like people will watch it animated without me like
Probably.
really fully remembering how it went. People would, because I even looking at the photos, I was thinking to myself, y'all really want to make this live action?
I have no idea why. I gotta be honest. I don't know one. I don't know one why we're rebooting Captain Planet. Like Captain
Because we
Planet,
reboot everything.
and that's really my gripe. My gripe is, yo, just leave some shit alone. Because
I
now what
agree.
happens is y'all about to fuck up Captain Planet. That's my hot take. I think they're gonna fuck up Captain Planet. I don't care who writes it. Because of the fact that it's live action, I don't think that you're gonna get the correctly allocated budget to do this the way it would need to be done. There's a lot of special effects needed to do all of this. And yes, they've done other shows like this, but there've been some really bad misses when they've done them. And I fear they're gonna fuck up Captain Planet. Also, I don't think the kids care about Captain Planet. I don't know how you're gonna make the kids care about Captain Planet. Because the demographic for Captain Planet is 40 now.
Yeah.
Do you think the 40-year-olds are running to watch live action Captain Planet? I don't know if you got the memo, but we have the Marvel Universe, and DC just rebooted. And we ain't really looking for Captain Planet. And if I'm wrong,
But that's why they're
and
doing
y'all
it,
are
right?
part of and y'all are part of the cult following mentioned in the article, then y'all can let me know in
But
the comments. But if y'all are running to the new Captain Planet, and if y'all believe in these people doing this project that much, that y'all are gonna go watch it, then let me know. And if I'm wrong and it's super hot fire, come back and tell me whenever it comes out that is super hot fire. Just come back in about 6 months to a year, put in the comments and say y'all were wrong. Shit is fire. But I'm not watching this.
but I guess Marvel and DC are kind of the reason, right? Because
Sure.
you are getting 40-year-olds who are running to the movie theater, or revving up their Disney Plus when it's time so they can watch whatever it is, or hopping on HBO Max so they could catch whatever the latest DC thing is, right? I guess that's what motivates them to do this sort of thing, because it's coming from somewhere, right? Like they can prove that people like Marvel. Why wouldn't they like a Captain Planet live action? I feel like that's the thought process behind that. Oh, and Marvel makes them tons of money, and DC is making them tons of money. You know what I mean? I feel like
I hear
it's
you. I
that.
just don't see. I don't see the vision.
I'm not saying I see the vision. I'm just
Also, once again, there are so many young, talented creators out here. We do not need to keep rebooting shit from the past. You
we
could give
don't.
someone new, you should give someone new a chance with a fresh new concept.
Totally agree. Totally agree. You're not gonna get any pushback from me on that. I totally, totally agree.
Yeah, so I'm not excited. I don't care that Leonardo DiCaprio is involved. Excuse me. I'm not.
I,
I'm not interested.
I love the Berlanti brothers, so you know how you love Christopher Nolan.
Listen. I got you. I could tell when you said it. So you'll let us know how Captain Planet is.
That's probably what I'm gonna skip. No, but I would check it out. I would check it out because again, I think that they're super talented, and when I hear the Berlanti name, I'm like, oh yeah, locked in.
Yep,
Because
I saw
it's
it.
never
I could
it's
tell when you
almost
said
never
it.
bad. Yeah, it's almost never bad.
Almost never.
Listen, everybody has one or two, right?
Yeah.
You remember Tenet? Dunkirk.
I said it. Yeah, I said it just the other day. I
Yeah,
hate them shit.
I know. I know.
Well, I hate
Yeah.
Dunkirk. I don't hate Tenet. Tenet was just a miss. I'm not mad. I
Yeah.
don't hate Tenet. It was a miss, but I hate Dunkirk. I
Yeah.
fucking hate Dunkirk.
All right. And on that note,
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't watch Eddington.
bye.